Yuma, darling, I brought you some snacks.
Yay! Where's my share?
What? Did you want some? You didn't say you wanted anything, so I didn't buy any for you.
My name is Risa Sasaki, and I have a cute little sister named Yuma. Yuma is 5 years younger than me, and my parents spoil her rotten every chance they get. They never buy me clothes or sweets for me, but they buy so much for her every time we go out. I would like some new clothes too.
Didn't I buy some for you the other day? You're not to say selfish things in my house, Missy.
But you buy Yuma new stuff every chance you get.
Yuma's so cute, so it's fine. Maybe she'll even become an idol in the future. You can't go wrong by being a little extravagant now.
But
No buts. But if you want new clothes so badly, try to get 100 points on your next test.
okay. Unlike my sister Yuma, I was always brought up under strict parents. I was told from a young age that I was the eldest daughter of the Sasaki bloodline and whatnot. And even if I made a nice drawing or got a perfect score on a test at school, I was never praised. And when I received an award for something, I was told that I was something that I just should have received. Even so, when Yuma draws a very simple picture, they praise her by saying things like,
You have a bright future.
That's amazing. You're so talented, sweetheart.
It really makes you wonder what creates such a difference in upbringing. We're sisters, and so our faces aren't that different. And while I don't mean to brag, I've also been told I'm attractive before, but my parents have never praised me like that. Living in that kind of environment, Yuma has, as expected, become a selfish, princess-like, nasty girl. You're really lame, you know that? Risa? That's exactly why Mom and Dad don't love you at all. Or, rather, it seems like no one loves you. Where did you learn to talk like that? When you're still 11 years old. This is normal language these days, see?
Is that so? Well, I'm going to study now, so don't talk to me.
That's why you can't get a boyfriend. I already have one, you know. Didn't ask, don't care, and more importantly, you're really getting more and more popular, huh? Obviously. Well, since I'm so attractive, I really do get so popular, and it's a problem for me. Yeah. I think it's fine for you now, but it will be a pain later. You should be careful when it comes to guys. I don't need to be told that from you, of all people. Yuma had become a street gal, so to speak. When she was in elementary school, she always talked about guys, or about how she was very popular at school. She even started wearing makeup before she turned 12, and my friends would ask me if she was really my little sister. Yuma wasn't very smart, obviously, but perhaps because of her charisma, she had a lot of friends, and she was always the center of attention at school. Even at that time, my parents were very focused on Yuma and didn't pay attention to me. But I thought that at that time, I wanted to be praised, even if only a little. So I entered the top high school in the district. I got into the high school.
Oh, is that so? Well, it's only expected since you're our daughter.
Don't be so happy about that. Our eldest daughter should be able to aim even higher.
Sure.
In the event you drop from always being at the top of your school, we won't think of you as our child. Think of it that way.
I understand. Even after that, I wanted to be recognized and praised even just a little, so I continued to study every day. I joined a club at my father's request and still tested off the charts, but I was never praised for it. Hey, why are you trying so hard, Risa? What? Aren't you trying too hard? You're studying like a prodigy while doing club activities. This girl is Saya, and not only is she in the same class as me, but she was also in the same club. She was a girl I got along with immediately after I entered the school. Well, no, I'm not trying too hard. I'm just doing what I can because I got into this high school, see? Is that so? Considering that, it doesn't seem you're very happy. But studying and club activities are like obligations, right? Studying is for sure, but I wouldn't say that about club activities. If you don't want to do it, you could just quit. But if I do that, my parents would get angry. What the heck? I told Saya about my family, and as I did, I saw her expression become more and more stern. Yeah, that's definitely your parents being ridiculous, Risa. It's detrimental for you to stay in that kind of environment forever. Really? But I'm the eldest daughter, right? Just because you're the eldest daughter doesn't mean you have to work your ass off all the time. I'm the eldest daughter too. But no one tells me anything and I'm allowed to do whatever I want. Out of curiosity though, Is your family a rich family that's been traditional for generations or something? Well, I don't think that's the case, honestly. So, all the more reason you ought to be loved, too. That's discrimination. You don't need to meet everyone's expectations just because you're the older sibling. Is that the norm? Yes, it is. I see. I don't think you have to try so hard anymore, Risa. It's just your parents telling you bullshit. I wonder, though. Trust me on this. I see. Thank you, Saya. From then on, I started doing what I wanted to do. I quit club activities and started hanging out with friends after school more. But I still studied hard every day. And I wasn't chastised by my parents. This was an incident that made me realize that they had really no interest in what I was doing. After that, I moved to Tokyo to go to a university and thus started my life alone. I'd succeeded in getting away from my parents. When I told them I wanted to live alone, they gave me very unpleasant looks, but since it was a national university, they were eventually okay with it. Time passed and I got a job at a good company, got a boyfriend there, and got married. When I went back home to tell them about my engagement, they were cold as hell as expected. They said they weren't going to the wedding ceremony, nor were they going to give any money to the ceremony before kicking us out.
I had heard about it time and again, but I guess they truly aren't interested in you, huh?
I'm sorry about this.
Oh, no worries. From now on, my parents and I will be your family. So please, let's do our best to be happy.
Thank you, honey. After I got married, I became a full-time housewife. But after a while, my husband was transferred, and I tragically ended up coming back to live near my parents' house. However, I didn't tell them my address or anything like that, and since they also showed no interest in me, they never contacted me or knocked on my door. Then about 20 years later, my mother contacted me for the first time. I had given her my contact information, but she never bothered to call me before. Why in the world would she call me now? Long time no see. What's the matter?
Your father passed away. It would make a bad image for us if the eldest sister wasn't present to be at the funeral. You better attend and also bring some condolences. I'll send you the details later. So you better attend or else. I'll see you later.
Then she hung up the phone after saying so much bullshit. Ha!
What happened?
Apparently, my father passed away, and I was told I must attend the funeral because it would be bad for the family's reputation if I didn't.
What? You've been neglected for so long and she dares to order you the hell around now? I think you don't have to attend if you don't want to, honey. If it's going to be a hassle, you could also just renounce your inheritance.
But it'd also be a hassle if I didn't see her even once, so I'll go for now. You have your job to think about. I'll be fine on my own.
If anything happens, I'll rush over right away, okay?
Hey, I wonder how much inheritance I'll get. Why do you say that? Your father died, Yuma. You should be a little bit more sad about this. You say that, but you don't seem very sad about yourself, Risa. I don't have many memories of Dad, after all. But he loved you so much, didn't he? Well, even if you say that. I was the same man who raised her to be such a nonchalant person, which was why I didn't think it was a big deal. But when the will was revealed to me, I was left speechless. And his will, he left all of his inheritance to Yuma. Seriously? Let's go! I always knew he didn't particularly love me, but I never thought he would be so horrible as to leave me nothing after he passed. I didn't particularly want the money, but I realized that I actually had some hope that somewhere in my heart I thought he still cared about me. Even a little. Mom always acted like it was a given, and I decided to cut ties with his family.
Cut ties, you say? Well, that's fine, actually.
Well then, Mom, I guess that means you don't have to give any inheritance to Risa. I understand, but in return, no matter what happens to the two of you, I won't be involved anymore.
You unfiled bitch.
That's what it means to cut ties, after all. And I'll prepare a document just in case. I don't want to be given any trouble later on, after all. Who in their right mind would talk to you anyhow? On the contrary, I'm worried that you'll wind up saying all sorts of things because they want Mom's inheritance. Too bad for you, I suppose. I'm not short of money, and there's no need to worry. I then whipped up a document and signed it. I made a notarized official document promising that we would never have any contact with each other in the future. I felt a great sense of relief when I realized that I would no longer have any contact with my mother and Yuma.
Today is a new beginning for you, honey. Let's go eat something delicious tonight.
Thank you, honey. I'm so glad that you were there for me. In this manner, I was spending really happy days with the family that loved me. But as our children grew up and left the nest, we were living a relaxed life as husband and wife until one day I received the worst news. Hey, Risa, please help me. Why did you call me? Did you forget to fill out the paperwork to sever all ties? This is an emergency. Mom slipped off the footbridge and was hospitalized. That's terrible. Going out right after a heavy rain was what caused the accident. Bad decision. You're so cold. I've told you so many times already, but I've severed all ties with you. Instead of saying that, come and visit her, please. Let bygones be bygones, right? So, her life is not in danger, it seems. No! And that's so unfortunate. To make matters worse, she only broke her arm, see? You wish misfortune on your own mother, Yuma? You're diabolical. None of your business. My husband doesn't make much, you know. If that's what you think, you can work too. I'd prefer to be a full-time housewife. Oh, I see. And where's the hospital? Will you visit her? Yeah, just in case. But this is the last time. Don't say it's the last time, and please take care of her after that too. Mom will need care soon, won't she? What? I don't want to care for her or anything like that. I know. I mean, I really don't know shit. Taking care of an old gas bag is a big sister's job. Didn't I tell you I cut ties with you two scumbags? I'm only visiting her because I feel sorry for her and to thank her for raising me. I have no obligation to go that far. Don't say that, please. I don't want to. Caring for someone is dirty and hard work, and that's a job for older folks. You're old enough to be older folk too, you know. I'm still young, damn it. You're only 5 years younger than me, damn you. And don't you owe her anything for all the care you received up until now? She just freaking raised me how she wanted to is all. Well, that's how it is. And the procedures for discharge are a pain in the ass, so please take care of it all. Hey now.
What's wrong?
Ooh, you're gonna love this. When I explained the situation, Atsushi was furious. He said I ought to ask the lawyer to warn her. But I feel it was a bit of an inconvenience for Mom, so I decided to go to visit her in the hospital. Atsushi was also shocked at the sheer stupidity of my sister, so he allowed me to visit her. And there lay the haggard mother of mine.
Risa, you came.
Don't you look a lot thinner than you did at Dad's funeral?
Yuma suddenly came home after that, see? Her husband didn't make much money, and taking care of the kid was hard for her, so it was her way of cutting the rent and pushing the care of her kid onto me. It was a tough job.
You didn't turn her away?
She's my cute daughter and granddaughter, after all. I was happy to help at first, but while Yuma was being a full-time housewife, and she just goes off gallivanting and doesn't do anything at all. Her kid is a junior in high school, but he acts like a little ankle biter, and I'm so tired.
She essentially forced me to take care of you.
I was told that too. She said I was no longer needed. I really made a huge mistake in raising her. Risa, I'm so sorry for everything.
Mom began to bawl and apologize. You know I can't accept your apology. Do you know how I always felt trying to get you to accept me? Do you have any idea?
You're absolutely right, dear. I'm so sorry.
I really wanted to tell her that she got what she deserved, but when I saw my own mother crying so genuinely, I couldn't say anything like that, and so I decided to talk to Atsushi about what happened at the hospital.
From all your stories, I know how you've felt up until now, Risa. But if things continue like this, your sister will definitely not do anything, and I can see that she will contact us again eventually. I know that you'd already prepared the paperwork all those years ago, but to avoid any trouble, I think it might be a good idea to at least apply for her to be admitted to a nursing home. What do you think?
I think I agree. I can't just leave her like this.
If you don't want to do it all, I can take care of all the paperwork.
It's fine. She's my mother, after all. So I can do that all by myself, at least.
Are you sure? Are you truly okay with this, Risa?
I honestly really don't want to, but she's my mother, so I can suck it up once again. I went to visit her again and told her about what we decided, and she started crying again and kept saying, "Thank you, I'm so sorry." She never stopped apologizing, and it hurt my heart. A few years later, she fell ill and passed away. I've been looking forward so much to her funeral. That's really outrageous. You should at least be humble during the funeral, Yuma. Oh, what's this? Making excuses for your defeat because you won't get any inheritance? Sore loser. That's not it. Look at this. This is a designer bag I bought a few days ago. really nice, isn't it? It's something you'd bring to the funeral. Is it? I brought it because I wanted to show it off. This ring is also nice, isn't it? What kind of nerves does this bitch have, truly? I mean, why doesn't her husband say anything? When I looked in the direction of Yuma's husband, I saw he had a dangerously gloomy look on his face and was pretending to be a stranger. This is no good, of course. Yuma would get carried away. She attended the funeral as the wife of a man, as well. And so, out of his husbandly judgment, perhaps he attended too. If I said that since both of my parents are now in a better place, I finally started to feel a little better, and that everything was now sorted out, I would be scolded for being a terrible child, huh? Then, after the funeral, a lawyer came to talk about the inheritance. I wonder how much there is. I bet the stupid sister is thinking about what to buy next.
The inheritance will go to the second daughter, Yuma. Here is her will.
So this is the inheritance. Wait, what? What the hell is this? What does this mean? What Yuma saw was a huge inheritance, but it was a complete opposite of what she was expecting. In other words, a massive amount of debt. What do you mean, debt? Why do I have to pay it?
All of your mother's inheritance shall be transferred to you, Miss Yuma.
But why the hell is debt also inheritance?
Debt is legally defined as a negative inheritance, after all.
No. Please, Risa, you're also family, right? You should get half. No, since she's the eldest, she should get more than half, right? I have already given up my right to receive any inheritance. That has absolutely nothing to do with me. No way! Why does it have to come to this? Mom went a little crazy because her time was running out. Luckily, her legs weren't particularly bad, so she went on trips and stuff too. No way! I didn't hear anything about that. Well, you never went to see her at all when she was at the hospital, so I guess it can't be helped. But why didn't you go see her? I mean, who would ever want to see this old hag? It's just a waste of time to go see her, and she wouldn't do anything for me anyway, right? I would also just be a nuisance to have around, so there is no need to see her. But Mom wanted to see you pretty badly. And not just you, Yuma, but your husband and child too. Why did no one come to see her even though she had been taking care of your family so well up until now? When I looked at her husband and child, their eyes were swimming. So I hear that you had treated her like kind of a housekeeper up until now. And you hadn't even said a word of thanks? You never treated her well, did you?
We were thanking her all the time, ma'am.
Really? Well, I heard that you yourself had a pretty bad attitude. But no matter what. So, why didn't you come to see her?
Well, because I was busy with work and...
You could have gone to see her on the weekends. But what is Yuma, a full-time housewife, doing all the time, I wonder? Well, it's because of that attitude of yours that your own mother lost patience for you and didn't leave you an inheritance. That's not true. If it was Mom we were talking about, she would have done anything for me. But she actually went into debt and did as she pleased before she passed away, did she not? Well, even if she had left an inheritance, it wouldn't have been much. This isn't too much of a problem, eh? This is a huge problem, damn it. What am I gonna do about this? I have debts too. Huh? Is that so? I thought for sure you still had dad inheritance left. I've already spent all that measly amount long ago. This bag and ring were meant to be paid for by Mom's estate. You buy things you don't need with money you don't have, and that's what happens. Do your best to pay it all back. Wait a minute, Risa, please help me. You have an obligation to pay too, don't you? Yuma was screaming and raging the whole time. And even though her husband tried to calm her down, she wouldn't, and went on throwing a tantrum the whole time. I got fed up with this, so I left the room halfway through, and I found out why Yuma had been in debt. So apparently, Yuma was actually addicted to host culture and siphoned in however she could to make her favorite host number one. Then Dad's inheritance ran out, and even though she was in her 40s at that point, she still wanted to be seen as a woman, so she dressed in expensive clothes to look younger and have men see her as a beautiful woman. During that time, she didn't do any housework. She was constantly fighting with her husband, and her son grew up to be a delinquent.
God damn it, Yuma! I never thought you'd end up going as far as going to host bars!
It's fine, isn't it? I get stressed out too, so it's fine if I go out and have fun every once in a while.
Oh, I see. So being a full-time housewife is so stressful, is it? Even though you don't do shit around the house? Oh, is that so?
Well, what are you...
I go to work every freaking day working under a douchebag boss that I hate. And despite all the work I do for my family, you claim my salary is low. So I cut my pocket money and refrain from drinking my favorite alcohol. And now you say you get more stressed out than me?
Well,
Then I should be a full-time house husband, so you go out and get a job.
no, why should I have to work?
You get more stressed staying at home than working, right? Should be a great change for you. I was wrong to spoil you up until now, so I'll do all the stressful work for you.
I'm sorry, I was wrong. Please, I don't want to work.
You'll have to pay off your debts anyway, so you have no choice but to work. And right now, you better fricking sell all that useless stuff ASAP.
No, please. All of these are still usable.
That's why you're selling them, see?
Yuma was mercilessly scolded by her husband, and so she sold off all of her branded fashion items and started working part-time as well. Why am I doing this? When will I be able to pay back the debt? Yuma was selfish and took time off from her part-time job without any notification. Living her life spoiled by everyone she knew backfired horribly, and she was fired from her part-time job. When her husband found out about this, his patience had reached its limit, and he filed for divorce. Wait, why would you do that?
I've had enough of you.
Then who's going to pay back the debt?
The debt that you got us into?
Mom's debt is not my fault.
You didn't take good care of your mother until now, and karma's a bitch, I guess.
You didn't take good care of her either.
All because you said I didn't have to.
They fought interminably and ended up getting divorced after all. After their son graduated from high school, he left home, and all that was left for Yuma was her debt. Yuma kept begging her relatives for money, but they hated her just as I do. I heard that she was working every day with a desperate look on her face without getting anyone paying attention to her. Mom was always apologizing for the last few years of her life, but I wonder what she really thought of me.
I don't know what's happened up until now, but I'm sure your mother was truly sorry, honey. Even though she said she was gallivanting, she always bought you souvenirs and even put half of what remained in your account.
Yeah, but even so, I can't bring myself to like Mom. But now that it's turned out that way for Yuma, I feel a little better. I guess I have a bad personality after all. I didn't tell her that if she renounced her inheritance, she wouldn't have to pay back her debts after.
Oh, I don't think so. You've endured so much up until now. And also, that lawyer never advised her either, did he? Karma's true and real, and you get what you deserve.
You're right. It doesn't concern me anymore. Let's use the money that Mom left us for her children.
No, you can use it however you like. You've had a hard time up until now.
That's why I don't want my children to go through those hardships.
I get it. If that's what you want, Risa.
I haven't really forgiven Mom, nor do I don't want to be her daughter again in another life. But I'm very grateful to use this money for our family.